are you doing this Tuesday evening? Let's get in here and pray. Honey, I'm glad to see you today. I just want to say, you can go ahead and go to the description and fast forward past at least 11 minutes. And then I also want to let you know that I'm going to be on the podcast tonight live on YouTube. And don't forget to get the link. Thank you so very much. I thank you, God, for being Jehovah Nissi, the God of the banner. You place a hedge of protection in front of me, behind me, and on top of me. You keep me safe by any means necessary. Psalms 91, you place me underneath your mighty wing, and nothing shall by any means harm me. No evil will befall me, neither will any plague come by my dwelling. 1,000 may fall at my left-hand side, and 10,000 at my right, but it shall not come near me. No weapon formed against me will prosper, it will form. But I have the breakthrough formula from Jesus, Thoth, and Arumallah. Why all three? Because God had called everybody to the table. But man made up all these rules with these organizations. God never had any rules. God said, come one, come on, just as you are. And I walk in it instead of fussing about what it looks like. Just saying. Okay. God said, come how you are. He didn't say change it up. He said, come and talk to me and we'll talk about some things. Man put too many rules on everything. Jehovah Shalom, the God of peace. The peace that passes all understanding. Philippians 4. Think on these things that are good and of a good report. And if I keep my mind stayed on you, you'll keep me in perfect peace. No, it don't make sense, but it makes faith. And what I believe, I'm going to act on. And what I act on, I'm going to see happen over here in the spirit realm before it hit me over here in the natural realm. In this realm. This ain't nothing natural about this realm. Jehovah Sabaoth, the God of hosts. You're here, you're there, you're everywhere. You are me and I am you. God placed a small allspark of himself in our heart. Let's break it down even further. God told Jeremiah in chapter 1 and 5, he said, I knew thee before you even entered the womb. God said the same thing to everybody. Just, did we hear it? We only hear it if we're locked into that frequency or we're locked into that radio wave that God is using. Otherwise, we don't hear it. Honey, let's break it down. Whatever God say to you, he going to say to me. And whatever he say to me, he going to say to you, because God is not a respecter of person. God is not like man. Man will lie to you straight up in your face and bamboozle you and hoodwink and use you, whatever they need to do to survive, okay? God won't do that. God will say, this is, if I said it to that one, I'm saying it to you too. Okay. And all right. Let's talk about it even more. So then, God is not an aspect of love. God is love. Okay. And God takes an aspect of himself and places it right in our heart. And he told us we got a covenant together now. So my goal is to go back to him as clean as I left. Everybody don't have that goal. Everybody don't have that vision. Because some people are the sandpaper to keep us on the straight and narrow. Okay. Honey. And it's based on Ephesians 3:20. God will do exceedingly abundantly above all we could ask or think. So based on how you operate in the love is how you're going to see it. If you see somebody else doing better than you, don't get envious, don't get jealous. Find out what they doing and apply that to your life. What kind of love they got going on? I just had to switch that a little bit because it was turned. Oh, I don't like that neither. Find out what they doing and operate your life in that manner. Don't hate and talk about them. Find out what they doing and change it up a little bit. You never know how well it'll do for you. It might do you some good. I don't know. Usually if you get jealousy and envy, it's something that you have in your heart that you really want. So if you really want, go get it. Jehovah Elohim, the God of gods. We made all this stuff to put between us and God. God said, I ain't got no problem with it because I gave you the wisdom for it. And God broke it down like this. He said, what I need you to do is come to me first before you go to everybody else. You come to me. You come and get the wisdom and the word of knowledge and the word of wisdom. So when you go sit down where you're going and you go to an organization, you already got a word of knowledge and a word of wisdom. If you don't hear a confirmation in 2 months, it's time to get up. Why? Because God took Elijah to this brook. He took him to another brook, and he kept taking him to brooks. So if God was taking Elijah to all them brooks, remember I said the Bible is like an allegory. If you read it and pay attention to what's going on with them, you can apply that same wisdom to your life. So if God took Elijah to all these different places, what makes you think you settle down at one church and you stay there for the rest of your life? That's control. Yeah. Because you can get up and go whenever you're ready. You there as a free moral agent, right? Right. I just wanted you to remember that. So when they get up in your face, talking about you ain't supposed to be all this church hopping and all that stuff. Remember, I told you, I grew up in the church. I was a preacher kid. So I heard it all. Jehovah El Shaddai, the Most High God. Your name is higher than any name that is on this earth and the universe. If it can be congregated in a sentence and a punctuation, put it in that sentence. God is higher than that. And if I think of something, I try to tell you, or you try to tell me, guess what? It's going to be a sentence, or it's going to be a paragraph, and paragraphs have a whole bunch of sentences and punctuation. So God is already higher than that. Boom. Jehovah Rapha, my provider, there is no lack, there's only provision. You're more than enough and you supply all I need. It may not look the way I thought it was going to look, but it's supplied. I'm worthy because I exist, and I exist because I'm worthy. There is nothing that God will ever withhold from me. God is my source and not the things on the outside of me. See, God will use the people on this earth to bless me. See, wealth comes from the north, as above, so below. Not from the east, west, and the south. It will always be supplied supernaturally if I believe it. It's based on my frequency and my energy, which is key. That is the thing. So if God is here and I'm over here and God said, come to me as you are, that means I get up and I change my perspective. Every time you get up and you go to somebody, you're changing your perspective. Make sure they're worth it. Once you find out they're not, you can go ahead and cut that line. Jehovah Rapha, my healer. You heal my mind, my soul, my body, and my spirit. You heal so much of me. Y'all, I did good today. I did 120 push-ups. It felt so good. It didn't feel like much. It felt like I was back in the military. It was so easy. And I was like, where did this come from? Jehovah Gamola, the God of the recompense. Ain't no getting even with people and arguing with them. I just send all that negative energy back to the Creator and ask the Creator to cleanse and purify it because it don't make sense. Excuse me, confirmation bird. They know what they did. You know what they did. And I just send all that cleansed and purified energy back to the sender. No blocking their path, no stopping their path. No matter what they done. Why? We got cause and effect, sowing and reaping, and corresponding action into place. Meaning, whatever I say, do, or act out is a seed. Thank you. I had to pause for the call. That's a seed, and seeds turn into trees, good or bad. I live under the law of assumption that it's already worked out, and I don't have to stress about it. Everything doesn't require my response or my fight. I choose my battles properly, and I leave it in God's hands. Ain't no fussing and no stressing me out. Okay? And so it will be, and so it be, and forevermore. I didn't always was that way. It took me a minute to get there. So I'm not going to sit here and like I always have it together. It took me a minute, but when I got there, I was like, I'm in. Look at the description below to see a few items just for you. My books incorporate the essence of God. If you want to feel the presence of God, read In the Garden with the Father, Understanding True Intimacy. No matter what your background is. Okay, let's read an excerpt from this. Strength. Page 99. I'm opening doors to remove you from this place. Listen to my voice and follow me when I say move. I will be on you and your family. I have the best for you and not just handouts. Trust me. Oh my goodness. Come on here, God. And then don't forget about my other books, Befriending the Shadow, Unshakable Peace, Unstoppable Change. Both of those books are shadow activity books. Why? I didn't see any, and I was doing a lot of work, 9/11 on the clock. I was doing a lot of work with my inner child and my inner teenager, but all the work books that I saw was just straight up, straight down, words. And I was like, nah, I got an inner child and an inner teenager, and I need it. God said, well, make it. I said, what's the last one? It's a word of knowledge, okay? And then you get a exercise. And honey, 3 of those, you can be running around doing a hunt, trying to find everything, okay? The third thing you get is your shadow question. That's looking at you in your face. Everybody don't like that. I didn't like it because there was a lot of tears, but it's okay. That's how you heal. Number 4 is a color page. God asked me to keep the color page between the age of 5 and 10 because most childhood wounding happens between the age of 5 and 10. It can happen after 10, but it's usually in those markers right there. By the age of 7, it is solidified in your system. By the age of 10, it is really in there. And by the age of 21 and 25, it is now your responsibility to find a way out 10 on the clock. Why? Because by the age of 21 and 25, we think we know everything, and then can't nobody tell us nothing. Yeah. Don't forget about my other 2 books that's already on the New York Times bestseller list. Influence and Impact with Chris Voss, and Mindset Matters with Jack Canfield. You can pick up those books anywhere books are sold. I thank you so very much. And God don't care nothing about your background. Let me tell you why. God know everything about you from the top of your head to the soles of your feet, from the rooter to the tutor. He know the hair you got on your head, and even when you don't have hair on your head and you just got peach fuzz. Notebooks and journals for all, coloring books that help in meditating and recalibrating the mind. You'll see the link to the podcast with the Women's Leveling Up that was done in May, as well as the magazines I was covering in September, October, December, and January. I placed a new link to my own personal bookstore. I'm excited about this venture. Why? Because I have a long 11:11 on the clock. I have a long catalog on Amazon. Type my name in, you'll see it. However, I have my own special bookstore for dealing with the deepest, darkest stuff that nobody talks about when you're dealing with the Volturi of the spirit realm. Those ones that you get into the room that you really fight and people don't make it out alive. Well, I made it out alive. There was a lot of people in that room that did not. There are some freebies just for you. I added a link of 105 spiritual laws. There's 7 in the initiate book, and they only put 7 because they wanted you to stop. The goal is to question everything and to keep looking. I found out there was a book of 12 laws, spiritual laws, and I said, wait a minute, they got to be more than 7 in. So then when I looked, I found out it is. It's 105 spiritual laws. Pause. Even though we have 105 spiritual laws, let's break it down. We're no longer underneath the Mosaic law. We're now under what Jesus did. You could say Jesus was an archetype. You could say Jesus was a prophet. You could say Jesus didn't exist. One thing that I know is when you say Yeshua or you say Jesus, this is my experience. When I say Jesus, people act up. They start foaming at the mouth, and spirits usually leave. But you know what? You can't cast out a strong man if somebody likes it, right? Right. So, since Jesus gave us love and grace, new paradigms, he gave it back to us then, but they did some stuff that should finagle it and remove it, okay? So, boom, you put up a boundary, boom. Okay, so let's talk about it. Judas betrayed Jesus, right? But once he betrayed him, did we see it anymore? So that's what you do. You don't listen to these churches. They come out, oh, you need your Judas. Yes, you do, but every level you go to, you're going to get a Judas. So don't hold on to this Judas, because you're going to have a whole bunch of Judases in one level, and they're going to be stabbing you in your back while you're trying to get stuff done. No, you let that Judas go, because there's another one that's going to be on this level. Don't worry about it. Keep it moving. Honey, let's talk about it. So, Jesus gave us love and grace. So the disciples asked, how many times will I forgive my brother? 7 times? Jesus said no, 7 times 70. So that means you forgive them 490 times for the same indiscretion, and it feels like that. Because you grow in a cyclical manner, and so you're going up and you're going up and you're ascending and you're going up and you're going up, and it seems like you're running into the same thing over and over again. In essence, you are, but you're not. You're going into it at a higher level. You learned something on that last level, so now just let us apply it to this one. Okay? So now we're applying it to this one. And then you learn it and you learn it. If you make a mistake, it's okay. Don't beat yourself up. You keep going. Mistakes are a part of the plan because you don't know anything about this level. And because you don't know anything about this level, mistakes are part of the plan. Be okay. I had to tell myself that today. Be okay with mistakes. It's okay. You're human. You're going to make them. All right. And then it says, forgive me on my debts as I forgive my debtors. Okay. So now you have that other part. You always forgive you first. Then you forgive them. You're not forgiving them for them. You're forgiving them for you. Because if you don't forgive them, you cannot move. You are stuck in quicksand and cement. There is no movement. You're not going anywhere until you forgive you and them. That's it. And once you forgive, you're taking off again. Okay. Just like that. The cement is immediately gone, and then the cement is I just heard this bird that only comes out every once in a while, and I know the name. I know the name of the bird, and I had to write it down. Honey, let it go. So, breaking it down. So you got the love, then you get grace. Grace is God's willingness to get involved with human affairs. He pulls you up, pulls you out. And I told God, look, if you're anything like me, I told God, look, if I get down here, you got me into some secret mission, and I don't forget who I was. Pull me out. God said, say less, I will. And I said, well, thank you. He said, because I don't put too much in you. And then we have the 10 Commandments. It's really 613 commandments, but they have 10 commandments in Exodus, okay? But it's really 613. You want them all, you go ahead and get the Torah, the Tanakh, or the Chumash. If you get the Tanakh is the whole Old Testament from Genesis through Deuteronomy. If you get the whole Old Testament from Genesis through Malachi. The Chumash is Genesis through Deuteronomy. So it depends on what you want to get, okay? So God told the Israelites, there's no way possible you can keep 613 laws every day for the rest of your life without me. They said, yes, we can. And God said, huh? And they said, yes, we can. Us and our children. I said, wait a minute. I didn't ask to be in this. And then they did it again. They did it a 5th time. So then the king said, who you want to release? Jesus or Barabbas? They said Barabbas. And Barabbas was a serial killer. So the king said, I'm washing my hands of this. 16 on the clock. So the king said, I'm washing my hands of this. I'm not dealing with this. And they said, don't worry about it. Put it on us and our children. So that's how we got all these double whammies on us from generational baggage. And Jesus took care of it. Yes, he did. Jesus, Yeshua, however you want to call him. Let's not debate on the name. Do you know the power that goes by that name? While we being so philosophical, do you know the power? That's all I'm asking about. At the end of the day, I'm about the power. Forget about the name. Honey. And then he fixed it. But 180 AD and 200 AD, they took out 54 books of the Bible, and it's called the Apocrypha. Okay, once you read these, you get backstory of everybody just about in the Bible that you had questions about. You get a backstory of Doubting Thomas, why he was the way he was. You get more backstory on Esther, more backstory on Daniel. You thought you knew, you have no idea. And then you learn about all the women that was working with Jesus while he was here. Yes, all the women that was ministering, we kept saying, why ain't no women in the Bible? Because they was taken out, because it was going to leave too much power, and it was going to show that the divine feminine had a big mark on what was going on with the early church. And it wasn't called Christianism. It wasn't called Christian. It was called the way. That's why we're called way showers. Now you know. Okay? Because see, we know everything, but we don't know anything. And this keeps us from attachments as we go through each level and lesson. Because when you get ready to go to another level, you got to let something go. So you taking half your wisdom because half of it stays back so you can get filled up with more. And I was taught that by Jesus, Thoth, and Eshu. Eshu was an Orisha. And let's get this straight. He is at the crossroads, but Hecate is also at the crossroads. And they want you to win. They rooting for you to win. The thing is, slow down and be. Don't forget about the Adjective PDF along with the 400 values PDF. Put them together. You can change your whole Sims character. This janky promoter game, okay? Because it ain't nothing but a hologram. Okay. Apologize to Kanye West if you're telling the truth. It's a Sims game. Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter and the juicy updates and the upcoming events. Because you want to know, because it's amazing. Don't forget to look at the school app. Get anything started. It's wonderful over there. Come and visit. I was inducted into the new class of Who's Who 2025, Influential Women of 2025, and Women's Worldwide. God was on a mission in the end of 2025, and I was like, I'm receiving it all because I'm worth it. Look what I received in 2017. Okay, Who's Who 2017. Okay, I received this in 2017 for the work I was doing with my nonprofit. I was bringing women and teenage girls out of sex trafficking. Okay? And while I was assisting them, I had a lot of help. And then I looked up and everybody was gone. But I kept going because God gave it to me. So that's my mission and my ministry. Okay? When people want to leave, you let them go. And then I was helping out young girls that came out and said they were LGBTQAI and pregnant, and their families kicked them out. I said, we're the wrong state for that. I'm pulling out too many girls that's getting caught up in this sex trafficking. We can't do this. And then I was helping people. I was helping women that was in domestic violence, And we lost 2 women because they went back more than once. You can do all you can do, but everybody's addicted to something. You got people that's addicted to weed. You got people that's addicted to cigarettes, and they throw they whole lung by the collapse side, but they still smoking that cigarette. They even smoking with an oxygen tank. Okay, then that's dangerous. Then you have the ones that go to the gym 3 and 5 times a day because they're addicted to it, and the people that work out 4 or 5 times a day. So everybody's addicted to something. I don't judge nobody because if I judge them, you gotta judge me. Then I was helping people that lost everything in house fires and floods, and people was coming from different states to get assistance because they heard about me because I was putting on social media. I just put on social media. I'm a nonprofit, and I was looking to assist some people. And I had a lot of stuff, and people started coming. And so I would ask, how many rooms do you need? And they said, and I said, only take what you need because more people are coming. Then I would give them clothes, shoes, everything, whatever they need, all the way from the dad all the way down to the smallest child. Baby food, baby formula, whatever I had, okay? Then I also gave them bags, the toiletry bags, the female toiletry bags, and the toiletry bag with the fingernail polish and the fingernail polish remover. Because once you polish your nails, you gotta slow down, right? That was the point. You gotta get it together. You gotta come out of shock mode and quit shaking in order to do it. And that was my purpose behind it, from going to medical school and learning about shock and having to get people to calm down, okay? Then I was also helping this family for Thanksgiving. I put it out on social media that I wanted to help some people for Thanksgiving. And I wanted to help 2 families. She reached out and said, I need some help. I said, say less. I went ahead, 100 baked ham, that's my budget. And then I got $150 worth of groceries and delivered it. Then I found out about other families about to go through getting laid off. So I put all their names in a bowl, pulled it out. And when I pulled it out, I found out that, I pulled it out. I found out they had special needs children. I went to Honey Baked Ham, but this time I didn't get the same thing. I got something different and didn't have all them chemicals in it, okay? And then I took time to research to get the right groceries that they needed without all the chemicals, making sure, because they had special needs children. Then I also assist 2 women to go to therapy for 3 to 6 months. And then I gave them $250 or $150. You can see it all on my website at Refuge Women's Transition Center. That is www.rwt as in Tom, C as in Charlie.org. Okay? God is faithful, and I'm thankful for everything. You hear me? Don't forget to look at the link to receive 25% off your first order. This company is a company I use with all natural remedies for the assistance during the diagnosis of breast cancer in 2017. They told me I had 6 months to live. I said, the devil is a lie. I didn't take any of that cancer treatment because God told me if I took anything, I was gone in a week. And I said, not I, said the cat. I ain't. Might be vain, but I like looking in the mirror. So they was like, don't you see it? I said, I see it, but I'm not going to agree with it because the minute you agree, you're gone. Because your cells only hear what you're saying, and I refuse to say that. Because life and death is in the power of the tongue. And whatever you say, you will have. And I said, no, thank you. And so I said, I bind up every disease, germ, bacteria, growth, tumor, parasite, and I send it back to the pit of hell from whence it came, because hell ain't nothing but a frequency. Okay? And then I released the blood of Jesus and the hand of God, and I said, you know what? I take full responsibility because I ate the food. Yes, I did. I ate the food. So I take full responsibility. They said, what you doing? I said, I'm putting my order in, so when I come back with my testimony, and did, you know what happened. So I left there. When it went home, God said, get you a naturopathic doctor, did that. Then I pulled down everything the doctor said we had on being alkaline, pulled that down, got that, and showed it to my naturopathic doctor because we were 18. Said 5 things on each side we need to take off because of your blood type, it is going to cause an issue. And I said, well, say less. Then my ancestors said, get that dandelion, get that morning glory. And then they said, get that wild scallions, because that's what it is. Our ancestors live off the land because that's what they did. If they can live off on it and live hundreds of years, I know we can do it. And then that poke salad looked like lettuce and cilantro had a baby together, and it's serrated around the edges. Honey, and I put me some zucchini, squash, and red onions on the top. All of those are cancer-fighting agents. And then I ate omega-3 fish oils. I put seafood over there, because that's good for your body. And then I was eating a lot of avocado and wild-caught salmon because that is also vitamin D. Okay, I started eating the food instead of taking all the vitamins because the vitamins were making my fingernails weak. And I said, this shouldn't be going on. Something going on. Something ain't right with these vitamins. Psalms 91, 1 through 6 NLT. Those that live in the shelter of the Most High will find rest in the shadow of the Almighty. This I declare about the Lord. He alone is my refuge and is my place of safety and is. He is my God 100%. Ain't no shame here. And I trust him 100%. For he will rescue me from every trap. Did and still does. Protect me from every deadly disease. Did and still does. He will cover me with his feathers and shelter me with his mighty wings. He is faithful to his promises. Let's talk about God's promises. God's promises are yes and amen every day of the week. However, God will see a coup going on up at the street before you do, because we can't see that. Only thing we can see is what's before us, okay? And God will say, I'm not going to see you that way because they setting something up and they got something set up and you finna get hurt. And I said, well, say less. So then I go over and then he said, I'm going to see you around this corner with a spiritual machete because nobody been this way before. And I said, say what you're doing. He said, ain't nobody been this way, so you good because I'm going to be with you. And I said, well, say less. And every time I say less, I be looking at God like, really good? Just what we doing? My armor and my protection. I'm not afraid of the terrors of the night, nor the bullets that fly at day, nor the disease, nor that I dread a disease that stalks in darkness. Why? Because David told us in Psalm 23, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. For thou art with me. My rod and staff, my spine and shoulder to shoulder is my cross. Jesus said, pick up your cross and carry it with you daily. And then it says, my cup runneth over. That is abundance in all areas of my life. Every area. Even the stuff I don't even see. Honey, just everywhere. And it says, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. And then it says, Isaiah 53, God will send the angels to go before me to set asunder and make the crooked places straight, and God is always my rear guide. Why? Being my rear guide, making sure I get that goodness and mercy all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. You know why? This vessel is a house of the Lord. God is looking out my eyes to see how life is. Okay. Give him a good show out your eyes. Okay. That's why you do your best every day. You wake up and you thank God for every moment. Okay. Even the moments that are not good. Sometimes you have to wait. No, you don't. Sometimes once you go back and you see it in hindsight 2020, things are different. But even in the bad moments, you still thank God. Because you know what? You made it through it. God allows you to live through it. Woo! Nor the disaster that strikes at midday. Don't nothing surprise God. God is prepared. It's us that get surprised. Okay, every day we get surprised. I want to say thank you to all that view my videos and say thank you to all of the subscribers for your energy that you come and share as you come to listen to the message. I truly appreciate you and I thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I truly appreciate you so much for all that you do. Hand over heart for your affirmation. I am not society script. I am my own definition. I am not of this system, but flame from God, source, the divine. I don't stress about what I can't physically fix. I let go of that attachment and I monitor the use of my own energy. When people see that you have amazing prospect in your life, they will do anything to get your energy. Okay? Be mindful of that. I woke up this morning at 2:33 a.m. and I prayed and went back to sleep. I woke up with so much energy and was ready to start the day. I started focusing on what I wanted and how I saw myself. One moment, I need some water. Then I started doing things that would solidify that on the earth. I told myself, you're amazing and there's no one like you on the planet. I said, God, I pray people see how wonderful they really are today. We're having an eclipse, a new moon, a full moon, and so many amazing things all in one day. It's a lot of stuff going on in one day. Whew, if you're alive, see how good God is no matter what you have going on around you. I'm just smiling knowing something good will happen to me today. I'm excited about what's next in my life. Pay attention. It's a change of the guard, and things will never be the same again. Get ready to stay in faith and stay with what you believe, what God told you in private. Excuse me, confirmation bird. The symptoms today, crown and third eye just lit. I was having brain zaps, like zip, zip, zip. I was like, okay, and body zaps. I was hearing I Am by James Fortune. I'm whatever I need you to be. You're the I am, you are the. You whatever I need you to be. You're the I am, you are the. Hallelujah. I'm excited and giddy. I was excited today, giddy, talking to God. I did lots of self-care. I washed my hair, reset it, did some things. I worked out and completed 120 push-ups. The thing was, I didn't feel like I did 120 push-ups. I did them and then I said, did I just do 120? Because I did a set of 60 each. And I said, wait a minute, I did it. And I said, this feel like the old days. I hadn't done it since my military days. I hadn't done it and it felt so easy. Like boom, boom. And I was like, I like that. I had a feeling of electricity going all through my body and body zaps. Grounded my body into the earth and was just grateful to be alive and present at this moment. Ooh, I was in full gratitude about this beautiful place that I'm in. I'm in a tropical country and I was looking at the palm trees and I was looking at the coconut trees and I was just looking at everything, and some birds that I don't get to see all the time just showed up in a tree, and I was just like, angels, y'all are just the jam. And I just thank God for everything, even when I didn't know what was coming next. Because I really don't never know what's coming next. I just keep taking the next step. Don't forget about the podcast tonight that I'm going to be on. It's going to be live. The link is already on a post. I'm excited to see all of y'all there. I'm excited. Everyone gets the opportunity to do their own work and wake up in their own timing. It's hard when you love folks, but in their own timing, okay? Let them see it in their own timing. They get the opportunity to decide just like you did. Don't carry someone else's burdens or they fight or they battle. Philippians 2:12. Do not fight for them. Okay, do not do that because you are going to be resentful because you're going to wear out all your energy, and then when you need that energy to fight, you're not going to have full energy levels. Okay. James 1:19-21. Oh, I forgot to write down my Bible reading today. It was Ecclesiastes 2. Basically saying somewhat the same thing yesterday, how we remove God from the situation, and then when crazy stuff happens, the first thing we say is, where's God in all this? Where you put him? Where did you put him? Was he with you this morning? That's wherever you put him is where he was at. And then what is that called? The Quran 4:27 talking about love and peace. And I didn't get to the ephah today. James 1:19-21 NLT. Don't allow anyone to take your power or your energy. Understand this, my dear brothers and sisters. You must all be quick to listen. We must all be quick to listen, slow to speak, and slow to get angry. Human anger does not produce the righteousness God desires. So get rid of all the negative thinking and humbly accept the word that God has planted in your heart. I don't know what God told you. I know what he told me. For it has the power to save your souls, because it really will put you in a place, no matter where you at, no matter what's going on, it'll put you in a place of peace to see where you can't see. Verses like the Quran 17:53 and 4:148 highlight the importance of speaking kindly, avoiding slander, and speaking the truth. Are we avoiding gossip? 2:254 emphasizes that it's not for creation to question Allah's decisions because Allah knows better. The same thing we say about God. Sometimes we looking like, God, what we doing? Same thing here. It requires the believers to surrender to Allah's will, which is a message of faith and surrender to divine authority. See, you surrender to Allah. You're not surrendering to the person that's on that book board that's talking to you. And another question, are you reading this when you leave the mosque? Because if you only listen to what they told you, you could be getting bamboozled, hoodwinked, and played. Because religion will play you. That's why you get the opportunity to read it for yourself. Open up the Quran yourself. Open up the Bible yourself. Open up the e-file yourself. Open up whatever you are in. Okay? And read it for yourself. That way, you know what it says for you. And no one can take that away from you. Because God will give you a wisdom that is different. That's why we all got different fingerprints. God will give you a wisdom that is different than somebody else. But because you were looking for confirmation, well, you're not looking for confirmation, it just comes. The confirmation comes when it will be similar to what you already received. The confirmation will make so much sense. Because even though we see it all differently, it all makes sense in the big bowl of everything. Okay. Do we know who we really are? It takes time to get into our studies, whatever you're in. Pray, meditate, and find out who you really are. Like, spend some time with yourself. When you start spending time with yourself, you start hearing things, you be like, oh my God, God is talking so clearly. Because it wasn't you. Let me tell you something. I got degrees on top of degrees, honey. I am suited and booted with degrees. And I'm a smart child, but I ain't that smart. They some stuff that God be saying, I be like, I would have never thought of that. Be so secure that when things come to steal your joy, you bounce back quicker every time. Okay. It's important. I'm still saying, you know why I'm still saying it's my birthright, it's my spiritual birthright, and on top of all that, that is my blood bought right. I am worthy of love. Just blanket. I am worthy of love. I'm worthy of all the love I have for me. I'm worthy of a life I love. If I don't like it, I can get that adjective in 400 page PDF and switch everything up. I am worthy of a rounded, wealthy life. That is abundance in every area of my life. Nothing missing, nothing broken, complete peace, complete wholeness, everything just working out. I am worthy of the dream that's in my heart. If it's in here, you best believe it's coming to pass because I'm going to just keep going. I release the timelines that require me, that are no longer for me. Let's talk about it. According to Amos, two can only walk together if they agree. Once we no longer agree, why are you still trying to stay in my sphere of influence? My name stay in your mouth. You don't care for me. You let that be known. So while you let that be known, I'm just going to go ahead and walk on down the road and live my best life because you showing that you really don't care too much for me. So why would I spend all this time with somebody that don't care too much for me? Right. Think about it. I just want you to think about that for a minute. So look, I don't have nothing against you. I don't have no anger, I don't have no animosity, I don't have no bitterness, I don't have no strife, don't have no envy, don't have no jealousy, none you got. But this is what I'm going to say. I release you in love to find everything is looking for you. I release nothing but cleansing and purifying energy to you. I pray that God send laborers in the field that you can understand, that you can feel the wisdom from, and you can follow. Don't know what happened there, but I'm done, and I wipe my hands of it, and I'm done. Okay? No harm, no foul, no hate, no bitterness. Enjoy your life. I really want you to win. I release the timelines that require me to shrink. If you are looking for me to shrink, hold your breath and you're going to be in a casket soon. I will not be quiet so you can shine. The devil is a lie. I have a mind too, and I am going to use my critical thinking, and I'm going to say, as long as it's not injuring me or you, I'm going to speak my mind. I'm not rushing or placing pressure on myself. I'm just open for clear communication and wisdom on my next move in stillness. Stillness does something for you. It allows you to say, okay, breathe it in, bring it out, bring it in, bring it out. Okay, it allows you to ground yourself into the earth. I walk forward lighter, clearer, and deeply supported. I am never alone. I have my ancestors, angels, and God That is a 3/4 cord that is not easily broken. I'm so secure. If I'm walking by myself, I'm not. I got a team, my angels, my ancestors. When they go woo-ha, and pop on you like bust around, let me tell you something. You ain't gonna know what to do, but they gonna come out. Man, they gonna come out from every side. The angels always bring me something amazing that causes my heart to light up. It just happened. I went outside and some birds that I haven't seen in a while just showed up. I was like, you know what? I love this. Thank you. I really appreciate it. I'm aware enough to pause, breathe, and sit still for the next move, or just know that I am loved in every way that love can show itself. Man, love has 101 million ways to show that love loves you. Are you able to receive it? I am. People go out of their way to do me good because of the favor of God on my life. Rules, laws, regulations, and any red tape is removed from me. It is said we don't even usually do this. They just can't help it. I can't help it either. But if God say nope, my ancestors say I wish you would, and my intuition say no ma'am. I have miracles every day, and uncommon blessings find me without me even searching for them. They just fall upon me because I'm aligned. When you start getting aligned with God, you start rolling with God. Let me tell you, God, but take that, take that. You be like, God, what is it about? He said, remember when? He be like, oh, yeah, I do. Thank you. I don't consent in any energy control. I'm grounded, safe, and fully in control of myself. I'm untouchable and fully sovereign in myself. All cords are removed from me. Cut, cut, snip, snip, burn, burn. And I sever every cord of connection. I am worthy of all my dreams and everything my heart desires. If my heart desires it, you best believe it's coming to pass. It will come to pass. Come on here now. I allow clear thinking to find me without fighting for it. I don't have to fight for it. I don't have to compete with you. I don't have to take what's yours. I don't have to be jealous of you. I don't have to be envious of you because mine is tailor-made just for me and will meet me right at my doorstep. I am worthy of seeing all my dreams come true while seeing the light in darkness in any moment. If I can see this from a higher perspective, I can change my life in seconds. I saw this somewhere and I said, okay, that's mine now. I kind of like that. All things come to me in perfect mature timing for my highest good and for my highest outcome and for the good of all. Because if I win, you win. You win, I win. Why? Because we're going to share what we don't put inside our journals. Okay. Money comes back to me multiplied on every dollar that was spent. Double, triple, quadruple, 100-fold on everything that was spent, everything that was taken, and anything that I don't know that was taken, anything that my ancestors left behind, and they didn't all grain before they left. I'm willing to open space for the things I truly want by being gentle with myself. I'm intentional with love for myself. The love that I love me with today. Even when I didn't know the next step, I was just like, just keep stepping, baby. I saw this on Google and I said, this is mine now, Google, because I done put some extra seasoning on it. Spirit, if it's in my highest good, I remove all energy that doesn't belong to me from my energy field, and I send it back to the rightful owner, cleansed and purified, no matter where we originally met. Universe, world, timeline, dimension, realm, space dust, space rock, space worm, space, okay, space, okay, whatever it is. And I sever the cord of connection. The lessons have been learned, and I release you to find your own way. I call all my energy fragments back to me now. Honey, I'm like Magneto. I am free, I am free, I am free. I am a magnet for everything that belongs to me. I now release all energies and traumas and patterns and anything from my ancestors that's not in alignment with my highest good across all timelines and dimensions. Honey, I'm pulling it in. Even stuff they left behind that they didn't claim. I am free, I am free, I am free. I sit in peace when I trust the process and I do not rush the process. Can we wait when it gets silent? Child, that right there, I ain't gonna sit there and tell you no lie. I'm doing speaking engagements and podcasts that bring transformation. Don't know why I feel like this. I'm just doing. Signature topic, helping visionaries and dreamers to reconnect, reinvent, go through the rebirth process, and rise with confidence. To get them to ground their dream in the earth to see it come to pass out of the spirit and imagination realm to earth. From Ephesians 3:1, saying that God will give us all things in spiritual places to richly enjoy, to bring it from the 5th and the 17th dimensions and bring it down to us to have heaven on earth. Because you get to co-create with God whatever you want. I have courses and books that teach individuals how to return to themselves, quiet the noise, and live boldly on their own terms. I'm holding space right now for people who feel like they're repeating cycles that they really can't fully explain, and it's happening to everybody in the family. Everybody. Girls and boys. It's happening to everybody. Also tackling the sacred cows of religion and how we think the same, but the labels we put on it control us and fear. And not just that, we also have some of the leaders, not all, some, okay, let's say 90%, the leaders that are in religion want to control the populace of the church. And in doing that, they tweak everything to control you. And when the 10% see it and try to show it to the 90% saying you're being a conspiracy theorist. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Once you see the truth of who God is and that God lives in you, he's not out here in the great by and by. You can't unsee that no matter how hard you try. We're opening every door and nothing is off limits. To get totally free, step by step. Write me in the comments to gain more information or look at the link. Okay. You see the link down below in the description. Hi, my name is RenettaCheston, the owner and founder of Life Success Results LLC, soul igniter, trauma overcomer, holistic spiritual strategist. I work with the whole being for my level of training and education, mind, spirit, soul, and body. I have a bachelor's and master's degree in healthcare to understand and comprehend mental and public health. If you have a public health problem, you have a mental health problem, and vice versa. Massage therapy, Reiki and sound healing, holistic practitioner where we pull out all the impurities from the rooter to the tutor. Human design practitioner where we go back to the beginning, get your purpose, we come back, and then we sit and start pulling out all that generational baggage and trauma. When I was given this task of having uncomfortable conversations with others, I knew then that my path was going to be a little different and probably would be a little standoffish until others had done just a little bit of work. But I ain't let that stop me. I started with me. I asked myself uncomfortable questions every day to get out of old patterns. I do the work every day, and I said, no matter what, keep going. And I said, and it's not always easy or pretty, but I wake up to confront the areas in me in love that need a facelift so I can keep going forward. What will you do? You're doing all that work on the outside. You look good on the outside, honey. But don't be a cesspool also on the inside. Do the same thing at the same time. What are you afraid of losing? Is it once you see that colonialism and imperialism has played everyone? I just want you to look for a second. Look at the color of your skin. Colonialism and imperialism has played everyone, no matter the color of your skin. Either your ancestors dealt the blow or you was receiving it. Both sides are totally injured and need healing. And until you heal, you're going to keep going around that same post. And we're going to keep having these isms that are controlling all of us. The ones where you say, well, you shoulda. But when it's you look at your intention, but you don't look at others' intention. You look at exactly what they did, but you don't look at exactly what you did. You look at your intentions. Has played everyone. You won't know what to do if we're not fighting each other, because you're not happy unless we fight each other about something, because you need a label. How about we find ways to have conversations that cause a pause, to see life differently in all areas? This will cause us to quit blaming somebody else. You did it for our problems, because we make our own decisions. See, well, we might have truly missed it. Okay, yeah, they gave us false information. But we still making a decision. We can only meet people where we fully meet ourselves. Remember that next time you say you want a real relationship. That requires you to take off the mask and lay it down, and do not bring your representative to the party. Bring yourself. We have so many adults who were never taught how to feel safe. So they seek safety and validation on the outside of themselves. Okay. Because of a plethora of challenges that happen in childhood processes. Do they like me? Do they like me? And so when someone says something that's mean, you take it really to heart. And so I asked you, and what I learned was in this book, it says, however somebody treats you is based on how they feel about themselves. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing. I can't think of the name of the book right now. But it said it had nothing to do with you. It's how they feel about themselves, and that's how they treat you. So I asked you, what emotion pushed you in a corner and made you make a vow to not do and be? I hate them. I hate her. They abandoned me. They treated me like this. They did me like that. Your parents did the best they could. I had to make peace with that. They did the best they could. Most of the time, the parents were children themselves. So it's children raising children, and they were left out there by themselves, nobody to tell them what to do, and they was doing what they saw happen. Yes, it was ugly. Yes, it was a lot of abuse. Yes, you ended up getting hurt. Yes, you did. However, the moment you let them go, you release yourself out of the prison. Because see, the prison doors are open, but you're holding yourself inside the prison as long as you're holding them in contempt. Because God didn't let the door open. But if you're anything like I was standing inside the door. I was standing at the threshold of the door, but angry at what happened to me and couldn't go out of the door because there's a force field that wouldn't let me out the door until I forgave them. That's what I'm saying. See, the vows we all made are playing out on the big stage. That ain't just them. Look at us. If it's over there, it's over here. While we get to protest and speak our minds, are we allowing that little girl and that little boy heal on the inside? The one that's beating on the basement door, let me out. But and people tell me, what's that noise? And you acting like don't nobody see it. My grandma used to say this. I'm not going to say the cuss words, but she used to say, your slip is hanging and everybody can see your, okay. That's your true shadow. That little kid that you hide in the corner because they never healed. I'm being commissioned to aid in the process of sharing how I overcame everything meant to keep me from coming into my true identity. Because see, when you don't heal, guess what you do? You try to control everybody else. I don't want them firecrackers on 4th of July. Y'all got to cut them off at a certain time. Sweet pea, let me break some down to you. They can blow firecrackers up until 2:30 a.m. It's the ordinances in most countries and most cities. You look at your ordinance, and you can't call the police until it's over at that time. You can't control the people to tell them that you want them to do what you want them to do. That means you need to look inside. Yes, you get the opportunity to look inside and find out what's going on with you that you feel the need to control someone else. Some insecurity is going on right there, although you don't want to admit it. I had to believe in myself and God. See, God is on the inside of me. But I had to find me before I could even deal with God. What does that mean? Why is that bothering me? Why is that setting me off? Why is that word hurting me? And then God was right in there, but he was behind the boards with the inner child. So until I took them boards off, which was all the unforgiveness, all the anger, all the bitterness, all the strife, all the envy, all the jealousy, until I got honest with myself and started pulling that stuff down, nothing was going to change. Because you can go to church Sunday, you can go to church Wednesday night for Bible study, you can go there Saturday and be cleaning the church, but until you open up your heart and allow God to do what he need to do, child, you can be at church every day and you can still be the biggest hellion in the street. That's all I'm going to tell you right now. Just because you go to church, that don't mean nothing. Tell you, I was a preacher's kid. And let me tell you, I went to church with people that was there every day. Matter of fact, I got off the bus at the church. I would get on at school and get off the bus at church. We was cleaning the church. We was doing something at the church. We were always there. And I used to see the ugliest parts of people. I'm just trying to tell you. God is on the inside of us, waiting to be tagged into our battles. Ephesians 6 and 2 Corinthians 10 say the same things. We're fighting principalities, rulers of darkness, spiritual wickedness in the high places. These are those Thanos I'm talking about. They're huge, and it ain't just one. They rock in the levels of 20 at a time. That's why you see people in Hollywood pretending like ain't nothing going on, because they done seen them and don't know how to fight them. Honey, get my books. It's over there on my book. It show you how to fight them step by step, honey. Step by step. This is when the negative thinking is going on for so long that it's a norm of society. those isms. Well, this is how we've always done it. Child, just somewhere to sit down. Okay, I knew that light was going to go out. It's all right. This is what every ascended master had to fight against. Us who complain but don't want to do the work or don't know how to do the work. Let me get my other light too so I can get double light. Okay. There we go. You had to bring some double light. Okay. And don't know how to do the work or don't know how to get out. And it causes a dip in morale because the only way you're going to get out is to deal with that generational stuff, that ancestral stuff. You didn't deal with it, but just because you didn't deal with it don't mean the fight ain't coming to your door. So to get out, it requires one to get uncomfortable and get past the plateau of complacency or complicitness. Okay, when you complicit, you already made your choice. This is how it's always been done. Those stores is finna collapse because that world is collapsing. Just letting you know in advance. That whole world is collapsing. You ain't paying attention. When are we going to respect each other? Yes, we know the FBAs was here first, but when are we going to respect each other? When are we going to quit looking at each other as a color of a skin and actually look at the content of our character? We talk about Martin Luther King every January, but we keep doing the same cycle. Like, what do you really believe? It's time to operate in it. You can change the world with that one thing you do that lights up the whole world. Find out what your dream is. Do your dream and fight for it without hurting none. God said you can build your dream as long as you don't hurt yourself or no one else. We've learned a lot in the last 3 weeks. Do what is right for you. No one lives your life. Only you live your life. We don't know what you got to fight because you could be fighting some silent battles we can't see. We only can go by what we see. Be sovereign, not controlled. Think for yourself. And if you protect those that can't and don't know how to protect themselves, especially children, do so. Bring your dream to life no matter what you see in front of you. May the force be with you as you go, and the power of God be in your heart as you move. Okay, because God is good, and His mercy endures forever. There are some freebies and a link for my podcast with the Women's Leveling Up that was done in May, and magazines I was in September, October, December, and January. Look in the description below to find the things that truly light you up and leave everything else behind. I cannot wait to talk to you soon. Remember, I placed a new link to my own personal bookstore. My books incorporate the essence of God. If you want to feel the presence of God, read In the Garden with the Father, Understanding True Intimacy. Honey, God is good and His mercy endureth forever. Woo! Growth, page 33. Growth is the hardest thing that you can go through as a human being. Why? You don't have a book to tell you where to go and how to get there. I was so lost, and then I tapped into freedom. What are you tapping into? That's your first to get on the bus. Don't forget about my other 2 books, Befriending the Shadow, Unshakable Peace, Unstoppable Change. Both of those are shadow activity books. I didn't see any on the market like this. And God would say, well, do it then. I said, oh, say less. So then you have a word of knowledge, okay? And then you have an exercise where you're going to be running around looking for stuff. It's going to be fun, okay? It's fun, okay? You get to have fun. You bring in your inner child, your inner kid, your inner teenager with you so you can have fun and stop being so stuffy and like this, okay? And then it allows you to have a spiritual intimacy so you can relax. Okay. And then number 3 is the shadow question. Not so nice because you're looking at yourself and you're being honest with what you see. Not so nice because you're looking in the mirror. Number 4, you get a color page. Fun again. God asked me to keep it between the age of 5 and 10. Why? Because between the age of 5 and 10 is when most childhood wounding happens. By the age of 7, it is solidified in the system. By the age of 10, it is really in there. Okay, it can happen after 10, but most people end up with it there because the people we look to protect us didn't know how to protect us because they ain't had nobody to protect them. They didn't have the instinct to protect because, let's really be honest, a lot of the baby boomers went through a lot of stuff. All of the heroes, close to 10 people that they saw as heroes was gone in less than 6 months to a year. That's a lot to process. Okay. Then, and then the last page you get, I had a brain fart. Then the last thing you get It's 4 pages of drawing, sketching, doodling. Why? Because the closer you get to God, you start having them Stranger Things moments. Those X-File moments where you can't explain it. And if you try to explain it to people, they won't get it. Because trying to explain stuff to people that is spiritual to people that's not spiritual, it's like, quit wasting your breath. Quit wasting your breath because they are not going to hear you. Just let go. Honey. Because you start having those moments that you just like, wait a minute. Did anybody else see that? And you'll see something like a synchronicity. You say, did you see that? And they're like, what? And you're like, so you didn't even see it? And God said it ain't for everybody to see. Everybody don't see what you see. And I said, okay. All right. Because once you see certain things and you've been walking with God for a minute, you can't unsee it. And so when people say they don't see it, I just say, okay. No hurts. No harm, no foul. And then my other 2 books that are on the New York Times bestseller list, Influence and Impact with Chris Voss, and Mindset Matters with Jack Canfield. No matter what your background. Okay. You can get these books anywhere books are sold. Okay. No matter what your background, because God don't need a background check. Humans do. But God don't need no background check. God know who you are. He knew who you are when you came, before you came out the womb. He already had a covenant with you. And God knows all the hairs on your head, even if you just got peach fuzz. Excuse me. Notebooks and journals for all, coloring books that help in meditate and recalibrate the mind. I'm excited about this venture. Why? I have a whole catalog of stuff over there on Amazon. However, on my store shows you how to fight step by step of the Volturi, the deepest, biggest ones in the spirit realm. Don't forget about the links to the 105 spiritual laws that govern the earth. Remember, we are no longer underneath the law. We're under love and grace. Okay? Don't forget to sign up for the newsletter and the juicy updates and the upcoming events. Don't forget about the Adjective PDF and the 400 Vays. PDF, put them together, change your whole Sims character to this janky promoter game, because this is really just a hologram. Apologize to Kanye West, because this is a Sims game, okay? Look at the new link for the school app. Come on over, I got some things together. I would love to come and have you at the house. I was inducted into the new class of Who's Who, 2025, Influential Women 2025, and Women's Worldwide. God has been busy, and I'm excited. And look what I received in got it upside down. Look what I received in 2017. You gotta love it. Look what I received in 2017. I was doing work with my nonprofit, Refuge Women's Transition Center. Okay, I was bringing women and teenage girls out of sex trafficking. I had a lot of help, but then they went and helped somebody else with a bigger name that was doing the same thing I was doing. When people want to leave, let them go. God said, let go. And I said, say less. Then I was helping out teenage girls that was coming out of LG. They came out and said they were LGBTQ to their family, or they was pregnant and their families kicked them out. I said, no. I'm bringing out too many women and girls out of sex trafficking right now. We don't need you throwing them out on the street. They were looking at me like, what? I was like, don't worry about it. So I let them stay in the building that I was at, or I took them to the teen center. Okay, most of them wanted to be around other teens, so they did. So I took them there. And then I was helping out women that came out of domestic violence. We lost 2 because they went back more than once. And this is what I tell people. And they tell me, why they do that? See, that's why I said, I don't judge nobody. Let me tell you why. Because I see people smoking cigarettes every day and their lungs is about to come out. Or I've seen them smoking cigarettes with an oxygen tank. That's dangerous. But yet they still do it. Then I seen people smoking weed that just came from the emergency room. And they told them that they had nausea and all this stuff. But they take their medication and still smoke the weed. I seen people go to the gym 3 to 5 times a day. I seen people working out 4 to 5 times a day. Just addicted to working out. They addicted to feeling good about themselves. I don't judge nobody, because the minute I judge them, I got to judge me too. So I keep my hands off stuff, because I don't know how everybody lives their life. Then I was helping out people that lost everything in house fires and floods. And people were coming up from everywhere to come and get stuff, because they found out about my nonprofit, because I was talking about it all the time on social media. And I was just saying, and I was talking about how I wanted to help some families for Thanksgiving. Well, people found out what I was doing, and they came, when they had a fire, they came to me and they said, I need some help. And I said, only take what you need, because people were just giving me stuff. They were just, I didn't have to go looking for too much. People just giving me stuff. I had nightstands, beds, flat screen TVs. I had just everything, right? And so I was just giving it, I was just people give me this stuff because they say, if I take it to this place, they're going to sell it to somebody, and I know you're going to bless somebody. I said, sure will. So people would come, and I would say, okay, how many bedrooms do you need? They tell me. I say, only take what you need. And then I would give them toiletry bags, and they gave the women the female toiletry bags, and then for every month. And then I also gave them the fingernail polish and fingernail polish remover, so they would have to relax to paint their fingernails, otherwise it'd be all over the place. So they would have to come out of shock mode to do that. I learned that in healthcare, that once they come out of shock mode, they can function and they can start thinking. You can't think while you're in shock mode. So then then I helped out a family for Thanksgiving because I was putting it out on social media and I was looking for 2 families to assist for Thanksgiving because I told God I want to do something. God said, well, get the staff. And I said, oh, okay. So, only one family reached out. So I found out what she needed. And she said she needed help because she couldn't do Thanksgiving. I said, fine. And so I went and did honey baked ham, because that's my budget. Did honey baked ham and bought $150 worth of groceries. So while she was looking for another job, she didn't have to worry about what was going on. Find out some other people was going through the same thing because they're getting laid off for Christmas. Went ahead and put their names in a bowl, find out what they needed, find out they had special needs children, find out what they need, and went to honey baked ham, but made sure I didn't get the same thing because they couldn't have chemicals. And then I gave them that along with $150 worth of groceries per family, plus 2 gifts for each child. That was my budget. I said, God, if I had more help, you know what I could do? He said, I know. And then I helped out 2 women to go to therapy. I paid for them to go to therapy for 2 women to go to therapy for 3 to 6 months. I gave them $250 or $150 worth of groceries. You can see all of that on Refuge Women's Transition Center, or you can go to the website, which is www.rwt as in Tom, C as in Charlie.org. Okay. You can see what I was doing. I'm just so grateful and thankful that God doesn't forget what you do. God said whatever you do in private, He will reward you in public, and I am so grateful for all of that. I'm grateful for all of that. Woo! God is good and His mercy endures forever. See, I didn't do no fanfare. I put it on the website, and if people went to the website, they'd have seen it. God is faithful, and I'm thankful for everything. Don't forget to look at the link to receive 25% off your first order. This is the company I use along with All Natural Remedies for the assistance with the diagnosis I received in 2017. They told me I had breast cancer and I had 6 months to live. And I said, the devil is a lie. I ain't going nowhere. And they said, don't you see it on? I said, I see it, but I ain't going nowhere. So, and they was like, but don't you, I said, I see it. I said, but how it works is, see, they didn't know how I'd been in medical school. None of them knew that. And so how it works is, if you tell your cells you are gone, your cells believe you. They only, see, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Your body only knows what you say. And so people leave here because of what they say over themselves. They bemoan the disease instead of finding a way to laugh, finding a way to not be sad, finding a way to be grateful in every moment. Because see, your body doesn't know. Your body knows it's fighting something, but then your body also hears, are we doing good? Are we okay? Are we going to make this? Are we going to do this? And so your body is going to keep going with you. Your cells is going to keep regenerating and keep fighting. And then I told him, I said, I bind up every disease, every germ, every bacteria, every growth, every tumor, every parasite, and I curse it to the root, and I send it back to the pit of hell from whence it came, because hell ain't nothing but a frequency. Okay, lack and insufficiency. And then I said, and I release the blood of Jesus, and I release the hand of God, because I'm going to make it through this. And they said, what you doing? I said, I take full responsibility for what I did, because I ate the food, I didn't look at the labels, it was good, I went with it. And I said, I'm putting in my order, so when I come back, you know what I did and did. So I went home, got the naturopathic doctor like God asked me to do, pulled down everything the doctor said we had on being alkaline, pulled that down, showed my naturopathic doctor who was a team, and then they said, 5 things on each side is going to have to come off because of your blood type. I said, say less. I got a whole bunch of stuff I can work with. Then my ancestors said, go out there, get that dandelion, get that morning glory. Morning glory can be, okay. And then I got that wild scallions. If my ancestors lived off the scallions and they didn't have hardly anything, and they lived off this, they lived off the land. When they said they lived off the land, listen to me, and they lived to be hundreds of years. Okay. We still got them elders still walking the earth. 110, 111, 112. Come on. And then that post salad, man, the post salad was like lettuce and cilantro had a baby together and it's serrated around the edges. Child, I cleaned that stuff up, put it, whole flowers, child. Put it on top of that spinach, underneath that jasmine rice. Jasmine rice, whistled everything. But child, I cut that up and ate it, and it was, ooh, that chlorophyll got up in my system and started healing me. Still got green leafy vegetables in my refrigerator right now. Honey, because I play nothing about that. If I'm going to have some spaghetti or anything, it's going over some spinaches. It's going over some lettuce because that chlorophyll is going inside. Okay? No matter what. Honey, and then I put some zucchini, squash, and onions, red onions on the top. All of those are cancer-fighting agents. And then I added some omega-3. The seafood is the omega-3. Okay, you need that for your life. And then I was eating avocado and did you know that wild caught salmon has vitamin D in it? Did you know that? Honey, I was wearing it out and my nails are so strong and my bones are so strong going through perimenopause and me trying to take you down. But I was doing it. I said, I'm fighting you every step of the way, honey. I'm not just going to take a vitamin. I'm going to eat the food. Let your food be your medicine before your medicine be your food. Okay, while we want to pop a pill, there are so many natural remedies out here that we can take to fix us on the inside. It's right in your cupboard, right in your kitchen. Check it out. Okay, as long as you're not on anything for your heart. If you're dealing with nitrogen for your heart, or anything for your heart, anything for your blood, that is a blood thinner, do a warfarin or anything like that, don't mess around with that. Check with your doctor first, because you're going to mess around and take yourself out of here and make your blood too thin, okay? Child, God is good and his mercy is endured forever. I am still here and I'm so thankful and I'm grateful. Let me tell you something. God, I thank you for loving me, for keeping me, for holding me, for honoring me. And Father God, I even thank you for the butt whipping. Let me tell you, when God give you a butt whipping, take it. Let me tell you, Proverbs 3 says, do not despise when you get correction. Because correction is to keep you on the path of the straight and narrow so you don't fall off the path. The last thing you want to do is be out of alignment. Woo! Ain't nothing worse than that, child. I do not want to be in the corner in the fetal position, sucking on my thumb because me and God ain't connected no more. The devil is a lie, child. And I thank you, Lord. They said that we were disenfranchised, but we are not. They said that we are the minority. We are not. They are, and they know it. They keep beefing up their numbers with people they do not like. Because I'm going to ask you a question. Do you have stores in their neighborhood? You got them stores in our neighborhood because they don't like you. Right. Honey, let me tell you something. They said, pull ourselves up by our bootstraps, and we did. And they took the bootstraps. They took everything that we had, burned our cities down, put us underneath water and everything. You know what we did? We walked around barefooted until we got it together. God said, go out there and get you some bamboo off them trees over there. And then the next time you take out a bear or venison or any type of hide, you go ahead and take that hide and make you some shoes and some shoestrings. We said, say less. And then they came back and told me, wait a minute, we took everything and you still going, you still smiling and you still dancing. Oh, you can't take my joy. You can probably try to take the happiness, but joy is what I know. The Lord is what gives me joy. I don't know which God you under, but I know one thing, whether you want to say Yeshua or Jesus, let me tell you something, or God. Let me tell you something, they will give you a joy that like no other. I don't know about nobody else, but it'll be a joy like no other, and people won't understand why you got this joy. But the joy that I have, the world didn't give it, and they can't take it away. Honey, God is showing us how to walk. He's showing us we playing spades, thump, and Uno with the worst cards in the deck and chess. And then God say, play this right here. We say, checkmate. Every day. Every day, because God is just that good. Do you hear what I'm saying? God is just that good. Ooh, I thank you, God. And you know what? I just want to thank you for being here because you didn't have to be here. You could have been anywhere you wanted to be in the world. And you decided to be here. And I see nothing but love to you. I love you in the love of the Lord. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I truly appreciate you for everything. Have a great evening. Good night.